Tonight's film is one of the most infamous ever made in Britain. Banned, cancelled, cut to ribbons, and yet still burning with the same fever it did on release. Ken Russell's The Devils is a film about religion, repression, and absolute power. It's a story where faith curdles into hysteria, and where the church itself becomes the theatre of sin. Released in 1971, The Devils was adapted from Aldous Huxley's The Devils of Loudun. The story is true. In 1634, a French priest named Urbain Grandier was accused of witchcraft after an outbreak of mass hysteria among the Ursuline nuns of Loudun. Russell saw in that story a parable for every age, about the state's appetite for control and the human cost of fanaticism. This wasn't some gothic costume drama, it was a political film draped in a priest's robe.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
By 1970, Ken Russell had made Women in Love and become the enfant terrible of British cinema. Warner Brothers, desperate to follow the success, gave him near total freedom, something that he took full advantage of. If cinematic history shows us anything, it's that the 1970s were the decade of the auteur, and this is Russell's vision brought wonderfully to life. He teamed with designer Derek Jarman to reimagine 17th century France as something closer to a fascist theocracy.
With our walls gone, we shall be defenseless, at the mercy of any enemy.
Russell has gone on to say that it isn't a film about devils, it's actually a film about power. He wanted to make a film about the machinery of control, where religion, politics and desire collided.
Ignorant and crafty provincials like us cannot see beyond the city walls.
Father Grandier, played by Oliver Reed, is the priest of Loudun.
You are absolved.
Proud, defiant,
Is there anything else?
and morally complex,
Your father sends you here for instruction in Latin.
and ultimately self-destructive.
We must not deceive him.
He's loved by his parishioners and loathed by authority. Oliver Reed is perfectly cast, bringing real charisma and power to Grandier. He said that this was his finest role, and it's hard to watch it and not wonder how good he might have been had he too not been driven by self-destruction.
I was never important.
He was a genuine presence on screen. When he seduces a young woman, he awakens the jealousy of Sister Jean.
Satan is ever ready to seduce us with sensual delights.
A hunchbacked nun played by Vanessa Redgrave, who confuses spiritual longing for sexual obsession. Her accusations ignite a storm of hysteria. Cardinal Richelieu seizes the moment to destroy Loudun's independence. Grandier is arrested, tortured, eventually burnt alive, a political enemy disguised as a witch. By the end, the real devils aren't the ones being exorcised, they're the ones wearing robes and titles. Visually, the devils looks like nothing else. Derek Jarman's production design turned Loudun into a white brick utopia, dazzling and modern and almost sterile. Say what you like about the film, there's nothing else that looks like it. The Devils cost around £2 million, which was a serious budget for British cinema in 1971, and it looked every penny of it. But the controversy began long before the film reached cinemas. Warner Brothers executives demanded cuts before it was even finished, and the BBFC made further edits, horrified by what they saw as blasphemy. Unsurprisingly, the Vatican condemned it outright, calling for its withdrawal from the Venice Film Festival, and in some countries, like Italy, it was banned within weeks. Even Derek Jarman's monumental set, 100,000 white bricks arranged in brutalist geometry, was bulldozed after filming, so no one could use it again. That's an absolute tragedy. It would probably be a World Heritage Site today had it remained standing. Despite the studio's nervousness, the film made money, around $11 million in worldwide rentals, which was a strong return for such a scandal. Or perhaps because of the scandal.
The great to walk on God's earth. But Satan's boy I could never be.
But Warner Brothers refused to re-release it and kept it locked away for decades. To this day, the uncut version has never officially been released in the UK. When it opened, the critics were split straight down the middle. Roger Ebert gave it 0 stars, calling it a grand fiesta for sadists and perverts, but others saw brilliance. In the decades since, the tide has turned. Critics like Philip French and Mark Kermode have hailed it as a masterpiece of political allegory and design.
It's time to demand this British masterpiece be shown.
At its core, The Devils is about control, how institutions weaponise belief to crush dissent.
Devils is great because it still feels dangerous. Most films lose their bite over time, but this one really hasn't.
It's about the seductive power of hysteria and the danger of confusing faith with obedience. In 1971, that message was seen as blasphemy. Today, it feels like a warning we ignored.
It's obscene, it's operatic, and it's truthful in a way that polite cinema never really is. It takes a full swing at religion.
Most religious believe that by crying, Lord, Lord, often enough, they can contrive to enter the kingdom of heaven. A flock of trained parrots could just as readily cry the same thing with just as little chance of success.
It's been banned, cut and buried, but The Devils refuses to die. It just keeps on getting resurrected. And once you've seen it, you'll understand why.